what about lowering standards?
That I don't agree.
No, but like based on personal experience, like for me, I was very, I would say like picky. And all my friends would joke, like, no, it's because you have super high standards. To me, my standards weren't high. Looking back, they were kind of superficial. I already told you my list. So before, like for example, I wanted someone from only either Ateneo, UP, or LaSalle. I only wanted someone who was either going to be a business person, a lawyer, or in medicine. And I had all these like should be, should be, should be. And Ariane, my boyfriend, he's not from any of those schools.
I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah, he's not from any of the like professions that I chose, but like looking back, those were like super superficial, and I wouldn't take any of the things on my past list to like my list now. Anyway, those were just like my standards from before. And no, just I was just like thinking of that since we're on the topic of like lowering standards and
I set the bar very high.
yeah. Yeah, like now, right now, my standards are more on like values. And I mean, preferably if you were like in the creative scene, like that's a huge plus.
Yeah, like I think if you wanna like keep your standards high, quote unquote high, don't have standards like Danny had because that's not what you should be focusing on. You know, like you're focusing on superficial things. How tall are they? How do they look? You know, blah 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 blah. In my opinion, focus on core values.
Yeah.
Do your values align and do your interests align? Those are the two most important things to focus on. Everything else is secondary, even the way they look, even their body shape. It's secondary. The most important is, are their values aligned with mine? And do we have the same or similar interests
Yeah.
in things that we can do things together? Because one of the most important things to do with the partner is activities. And if you don't do activities together, then you're kind of just doing your own thing and you're never involved, you're never having fun together.
Yeah, or like in general, that person is who you're going to be talking to, let's say like for the rest of your life. So if you can't agree on certain things, or most things actually, then you are bound for trouble. Like every talk's going to be a fight, or you're just not going to be interested.
Exactly. Like, for example, let's say you love to travel, but the other person doesn't really enjoy traveling. Then you're going to have a big clash of interest there. Or let's say during your travels, one person likes to see all the sights and another person just wants to sit down and have a coffee. Then you're not going to enjoy your time together. You're going to kind of just clash. There are many examples of couples clashing because their interests don't align. You know, maybe their values kind of align, but their interests don't align. Then that can be a real big problem. So Danny and I were blessed in that sense that our values align and our interests align.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe there's certain things that we don't get and we don't know. Like for example, when it comes to social media, Danny is a complete expert in that creative field, and I'm not really like into that, but I'm very much involved and I really try to help. So even if you're not interested in those things, you can see your partner helping you with those things. You know, you can still see that there's a big effort there. Or for example, like I have certain hobbies. Like I love to play video games. It's one of my pastimes. Danny doesn't like to do that at all. But she doesn't stop me from doing that. And sometimes she even watches me. You know, she's kind of just there. Or maybe she'll be reading her book, but she's there. You know, there's that level of like, you're okay to do this. You know, I'm not going to stop you from doing what you like as well.
Yeah. So I feel like just to summarize it, you have to be like self-aware of like what is really important to you, like things that you cannot live without, like non-negotiables. I mean, like if you don't show me this, then I'm out.
Yeah, and please, like, doesn't have to involve which school they went to.
Okay, in my defense, it wasn't about the school. It was more of like the upbringing, the mentality.
Yeah, but you weren't thinking about that too
No, I
much.
was.
Yeah?
For real,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I kind of have the mentality you wanted, so
Yeah.
in that sense, you didn't lower your standards.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I'm
Also-
not a lawyer or a doctor.
That's okay. I'm so done with that. Also, while we're on the topic, you kind of have to be like brutally honest with yourself. Like maybe you're just judgmental, or maybe you're just kind of nitpicky, you know?
Yeah.
Like maybe he spells or says something wrong, pronounces something wrong. And like that's, I guess, like a pet peeve of yours or something. Or let's say he doesn't have a good fashion sense. You know, like sometimes people focus too much on the little things, like things that are completely, let's say, instead of typing the full word, they just typed in shortcut. Like instead of typing you as Y-O-U, people just said like the letter U or something. And let's say you were like this grammar Nazi kind of person. But like that doesn't have anything to do with like, is he a good person or
Who the person is.
I mean, sometimes it's not the act itself that kind of disturbs you. It's kind of like what that means. My point is, I have to be completely honest with myself, brutally honest, and be like, am I actually disturbed that you type with the letter U? Or maybe I'm disturbed because I feel like you're too much of a casual person, or because I feel like you can't articulate what you're trying to say well. Is it the action itself, like the act itself, that makes you like uncomfortable, or is it because it's reflective of something deeper? Get what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean. I think there are a lot of pet peeves out there that people are like, oh, it's non-negotiable. Like, I know people who can't date others because if they eat with their mouth open, it's a big pet peeve and it's like over for them. The thing is, there's certain things that can be trained and improved upon. Like, I remember I told you, you can't just change people. And if you're super nitpicky about things and you want to change everything about them, then that's not good anymore. But if there's certain things that can be changed and improved, like for example, you can casually just tell me, can you just type with a U or something? Like a Y-O-U, not just the letter U. Then I imagine some people can improve that because, you know, there are things you can improve in life, right? You can learn not to chew with your mouth open. I mean, it's a good thing to learn, and anyone should be learning that, right? But in the end of the day, if you're hyper focused on these little things and you're not focused on the bigger picture, is this person a good person? Is he kind? Is he generous? Is he caring? The little things are not important. They're insignificant in the end. So I think the best way to describe this is you have a very high standard, and if they have those things that you really can't stand, the nitpicky things, stop looking at those things and look at the overall picture and try to really look at that person and say, okay, is this person actually a really good person for me? Because you could be wasting a good opportunity to be with someone great only because they do something you don't like. And I think that's just incorrect because there are many wonderful people out there who have flaws. Everybody has flaws. Nobody is perfect. In fact, you, the nitpicky person, could have flaws as well that maybe your partner also notices. But the difference is you're being nitpicky about things and you're focusing on the wrong, while that person, even though looks at your flaws, is probably ignoring them or accepting them, which is even better. So I think just stop focusing on somebody's flaws and focus on somebody's strengths. And remember, flaws, some are huge, some can't be worked on, some can be worked on. And I think that if you really focus and try to bring that person up, then eventually those flaws will become positive traits. They won't become flaws anymore. Or you will learn to accept the flaws because they are acceptable for who that person is. That person overall is such a great person that even if they have that tiny little flaw, you're okay with that because you know that you have somebody good.
Yeah. Like one thing is having standards and another thing is just being nitpicky.
Yeah.
Like you have to ask yourself, like, are you actually being fair with,
Exactly.
you know, the things that bother you? Because, okay, what I was trying to say earlier, I did a very bad job in explaining it, is maybe it's not that thing itself that bothers you. What bothers you is something that has a deeper meaning that you have to know just so you can, like, reorient yourself.
Exactly. Maybe it's not them. Maybe it's you.
Yeah.
You are the issue. You are the one being too nitpicky. You have this problem. And why do you have this problem with all people who have that certain trait?
No.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Yes, but no. Like, for example, let's say, just off the top of my head, you watched cartoons. And me being nitpicky, I'm like, I don't like that you watch cartoons. But is cartoons really what bothers me? Or is it like because I'm worried that you may be immature? Get what I mean? So it's not the cartoons. It's the fear of like maybe you're immature. But if I actually like get to know you and realize that, oh, you are a mature person, then the cartoons won't bother me as much. That was what I was trying to say. I had such a hard time saying that. If you guys want to check out the full episode, click the link on the screen or head on over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever podcasts are available. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon.